Science Bar with Colorado Fastpitch Academy. Today, I will be teaching you the proper leg stretches that a pitcher should do before pitching any pitches, whether they be slow motion, warm-up pitches, or full speed pitches. It's very important to make sure that you stretch first. All these stretches can be done sitting down, and each stretch should be held for 30 seconds. The first stretch that we're going to talk about is the butterfly stretch. Place both feet together so that the bottoms of your shoes are touching. Your knees will go out to the side in the shape of butterfly wings. For some people, their knees are not capable of going down as low, and so you want to grab your ankles with your hands and use your elbows to push your knees down. Once you get them down as low as you can, try to lean your head forward as far as you can with that. If you're a little more flexible and you are capable of getting your knees all the way to the floor, then the next step is to try to get forward as far as you possibly can. Reaching your hands out in front of you and bringing your head to your feet. As I said before, each stretch should be held for 30 seconds. The next stretch that we're going to talk about is having one leg in, like a butterfly position, and the other leg out to the side, like a half split position. Often people think that this foot has to touch this leg. That is not as important as how far off to the side the outstretched leg is. The toe should be pointing up, and you want to try to let the other leg lay down as far as it can. When you then go to reach for the toe, reach with both feet or both hands to your feet, trying to get it as far as you possibly can. This will help stretch both your hip and the bottom of your leg if you use both arms. You should repeat this with the opposite leg, making sure that one is once again bent in and the other one is out to the side in half split position. The next stretch that we're going to talk about is touching your toes. Touching your toes can be done sitting down or standing up, but sitting down it is better because it allows you to have a resting position and makes it more difficult for you to cheat and bend your knees. You want your feet and your legs touching, and you want to reach out as far as you possibly can with your hands to touch your toes. If you are incapable of touching your toes, reach as far as you possibly can and then grab your legs wherever it is that you're capable of going. Biggest mistake people make when they do this stretch is if they can't touch their toes, they'll bounce or cheat, and in all cases, they're not really doing themselves any good. The next stretch that we'll talk about is the back stretch. This stretch is as much for your back as it is for your leg. Have one leg straight out like you did when you were touching your toes, but bend the other leg over it. Take the opposite elbow, bring it to the outside of your knee, and push on the leg. While you do this, look over your shoulder using your other hand for support, and you will feel a good pull in your back while also feeling a good stretch in your leg. This should be repeated after holding for 30 seconds with the opposing leg. The next stretch that we're going to talk about, I like to call the Flamingo. And I call it the Flamingo so people can remember it based off of what it looks like when a person is standing up. Often you'll see girls holding the leg behind them, and since they tend to have poor balance, hop up and down and ultimately aren't capable of truly stretching the leg properly. That's why we're going to do this stretch sitting down, or in this case, laying down. Place the foot next to the side of your hip. You should be able to go back at least onto your elbows. If you are capable, try to lay all the way down. Holding for 30 seconds, and then repeating with the opposing leg. The next stretch that we're going to talk about, I call the pretzel. This stretch is incredibly important because it stretches the tendon running along the outside of the leg, which is the second most commonly pulled muscle by a pitcher. Take one leg and bend it underneath the other in front of you. The top leg should then be pulled over until your knees are on top of each other. The feet should go as close to your body as possible without sitting on them. For some people, this is all they can do, and in that sense, it's as good of a stretch as any. But if you don't feel a stretch in this position, place your hands on your feet and lean into the stretch as far as you possibly can. This stretch can be repeated with the opposing leg on top so that both legs get a good stretch. All of these leg stretches can be found on my website, www.softballlessons.com. Stretching is one of the most important things that an athlete can do to prevent injury. And although these are good stretches, feel free to do research to find even more that can help make sure you are safe.